What is up, party people? Hi, diddly ho, diddly neighborinos, and respectful salutations to you as always, Bobby Butternut Brackens. We are back at work. Couldn't wait to do a video at home, you know what I mean? So we're back in the saddle, doing it old school, kicking it like we used to. Let's get to it. Today we are going to go over my 20 favorite cards in Magic the Gathering. It's really hard to narrow down my favorite cards to just 20, so I guess it's more like 20 Magic cards that I really like, that I was able to think of from the top of my head, leaving out a bunch of others that are probably more my favorites than these ones. Alright, Bobby, let's get into this, alright? Number 1, Abu Jafar. Yeah, Abu Jafar, he's a gangster, man. Old school, comes from Arabian Nights. I got my hands on a copy of this dude. He has served me well. It's always fun to play. He's got a death touch effect, but it was way before that was keyworded, so it's just kind of a wall of text. He tends to just get ignored by people, you know. I've taken out crazy stuff with Mr. Jafar. I've taken out Terra Stompers and huge threats, you know. I just send him out in the beginning of the game. People tend to just forget about him. He sits on the board until I'm ready, and then just, boom. Insta-kill. That's right, Bobby. Alright, number 2, we got Gaeadrone Dihada. That's a Planeswalker. She's just really fun to play with. Got lots of cool abilities with these corruption counters. But my favorite thing to do, of course, is just the main line of play with this, which is waiting for someone to get their own Planeswalker up to full counters when they're about to do the ultimate ability of their Planeswalker, and then just come down with Dihada and take over the Planeswalker and use that ultimate ability for myself. Nothing saltier than that, Bob. 3, Redirect. One of my favorite blue spells for 2 mana. Yeah, this one is just fantastic. It is so hilarious, and the possibilities are literally endless, Bob. I just don't see, if you were going to be running a counter spell, I just don't see any reason to really do that. I try to run Counterspell, but I can never seem to think of a reason why I would run Counterspell over Redirect. It's the same mana, and instead of just putting a card in the graveyard, you can either use it against your opponent or use it for your own benefit when your opponent is trying to help themselves out. It is just grand, Bob. 4, we got Call to Mind. This is pretty basic sorcery, but I throw it in a lot of blue decks. It's just nice to be able to get some extra use from your instants and sorceries that you throw away and bring them back, especially in mill decks, burn decks. The sort, not too much to say about this, it's just a great card. 5, O'Hare, O'Jare, Pakpatik. Yeah, I cracked this one. I got one copy, but he's been putting in work out there on the battlefield for me. He lets spells have rebound. He's just doing a lot of cool things. He can't really be killed. He just turns into a land and then comes back. He's a good boy. 6, we got Turn to Frog. One of my all-time go-to spells. I just love Turn to Frog. It has so many applications. Of course, my favorite is just turning a huge threat from my opponent attacking me into a frog and then chump blocking it for a kill. Something with 2 toughness to survive the combat. It never gets old. So salty, so delicious, Bob. Next, we got my boy, Deathrite Shaman. Oh yeah, baby. I love DRS. I got 3 copies of this one, had to, you know what I mean. It hurt my wallet, but it hurts my opponents even more. What can I say about Deathrite Shaman, man? It's an absolute classic. It's a banger. It's busted. Busted. Like 6-star wanted level in Grand Theft Auto, man. Busted. I can't get enough of it. The 1 mana Planeswalker. I love you, DRS. Alright, next up, number 8, we got Alexi's Cloak. Yeah, I just love this one. It's not so common that you have something this easy to give a creature hexproof. And it's an enchantment aura that you can cast like an instant. Basically has flash, which is just great because you can put a creature out they can try to lightning bolt it instantly or something, you know, some of their shenanigans, and then you can just get that cloak on them and make them hex-proof, make your opponents throw away their stuff. It is amazeballs. 9, we got Aether Snap. This is awesome, because if you want to know one thing about me, Bob, if you want to know one thing about me, I hate token strategies. I hate tokens. I hate everything about tokens. I don't play tokens. I get really upset with people, and everyone's playing these token creatures, and they think they're so big-brained, you know. They're like, you make a token, tap the mana, make a token to make some tokens. You know what, Bobby?
Aether Snap.
Go ahead and get rid of all those banner tokens for me, Bobo. Thanks a lot. Alright, 10, we got Portent. Yes, 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 I love Portent. It is great. Put it in all my blue decks. It's just so applicable in so many situations. It's basically like a ponder that you can use on yourself or your opponent. You can take a peek at their cards, reorganize it, shuffle it, or do it to yourself. So it's like if you have a good hand, you can just look at your opponent's stuff and kind of stack their draws to make it worse for them. Or if you have a bad hand, you can kind of make things better for yourself. It's just amazing, Bob. Amazing spell. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for at least, you know, in the past, making cool cards like this. Thank you. 11, Royal Assassin. Yeah, you know Royal Assassin. He's a homie. He's out here just tapping to destroy creatures. If no one can find an answer for him, if your opponent can't take him out, he's just straight he's just straight murdering everything out here, Bob. What can I say? He's a gangster. I love it. 12, Kessig Flame Breather. This one doesn't get a lot of love, but he's always putting in work for me in my burn decks. Like, he's always worth it putting in a burn deck for me to just have all your burn spells do 1 extra damage. Just, you know, ping, 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 ping. He's pinging, Bob. He's the king of ping. He's the sultan of ping. Kessig Flame Breather. 13, my boy, Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker. I love this guy. When I'm playing Dimir decks, he is so funny. I love just hitting them, hitting your opponent and making them mill 4 lands and everything in between. It's amazing. It feels great. It makes people cry. Mirko Vosk. 14, Vidalcan Mastermind. I love this boy. I love this one a lot. Not so many cards that can just keep putting your creatures back in your hand, you know what I mean? This is so nice if you have something like a cantrip creature that's not really good for combat. You don't really need to use them for blocking or anything. You can just kind of keep cheaply putting them in your hand and recasting them to keep getting that cantrip just continuously. It becomes a huge problem for the opposition, Bob. I guarantee it. Vidalcan Mastermind, I will always love you. 15, Myr Battlesphere. This one is legit. I mean, it's just cool to have kind of a win con, you know, in a Myr deck. Myrs, they're not that powerful, but this Myr Battlesphere, it gives a point to it. It's also, like, independent. It makes its own Myr creature tokens. I know what I just said about tokens, Bob, I realize that, but I can't help it, okay? It just does it automatically. But I only run it in Myr decks. I wouldn't use it for just the tokens, you know? So yeah, call me a hypocrite if you want, but I'm still running that Myr Battlesphere, and I'm rolling over you, Brackens. 16, Deathbringer Regent, the DBR. Wipes the board, except it is the sole Invictus, so you're just left with this dragon on your side of the board. No one else has anything, and they have to rebuild, and they have to see to it that they get something with reach or flying. Oh, it is just a mess, Bob, in the best way possible. Love you, Deathbringer Regent. You're my boy, or girl, or non-binary dragon person. 17, Elvish Visionary. This is one of those classic cantrips I was talking about that just draws you a card. This is one of the ones I usually combine with the Vidalcan Mastermind to just keep getting that card draw and a creature. If you end up in a crisis, you know it's on the board. If everything's going good, you can just keep putting in the Visionary, drawing cards. It is awesome in Simic decks. Love it. But the Visionary, it stands on its own. I've been in love with this card for so long. It just seems like whatever deck Elvish Visionary is in, things just seem to work out. The games seem to go good when Elvish Visionary is in your deck. Always run a playset of it, no matter what. If there's green in the deck, Elvish Visionary is in the deck. Love you. 18, Witch Hunter. This is a lesser known one. It's a white card that doesn't behave anything like a white card. It is such a problem when it comes out, Bob. It can just continuously bounce creatures back to your opponent's hand. Yeah, it's just such a problem. It totally breaks the color pie, but that's the point. It's from the dark. I have this version of the dark. I have an entire playset. Love playing this guy. Would hate to play against it. It is so annoying. Witch Hunter. You're my boy, Witch Hunter. 19, we got Elesh Norn Grand Cenobite, one of my all-time favorite cards. I have loved Elesh Norn ever since I saw it for the first time. I love all the Praetors, but, nobody captures my heart quite like Elesh Norn. Classic, it's just so flavorful, so powerful. Love that it strengthens your entire board and weakens your opponent's entire board, gets rid of everything they have that's 2 toughness or less. So, we're going back to that. It's the token eliminator, the terrorizer of tokens, the toker, choker, poker, doker. Yeah, I hate tokens. So does Elesh Norn. So, it's a match made in heaven, Bob. Alright, last up, we got probably my all-time favorite card. You're gonna laugh at me, but Sage Owl. I don't know what it is, Bob. For me, Sage Owl is just the pinnacle of Magic cards. It is cute, it's cheap, it's effective, it's cantrippy. I love its ability to just order your 4 draws. I know it doesn't really do anything about it. If you have 4 bad cards in a row, it doesn't change that. But why do you have 4 bad cards in a row in your deck? What are you doing out here, Bob? You built a constructed deck where it's possible to have 4 bad cards in a row? You shouldn't have 4 bad cards in a row, Bob. So you know what, Sage Owl, I've never run into a problem. It's always helpful. I just can't live without you, Owl. You will forever be my boy. My bird. The bird is the word, Bob. I promise you, the bird is the word. Next up, we just got 3 old school honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but I love playing them too. Stone Rain and Psychic Venom. Yeah, it's always fun to mess with your opponent's lands, and these are the old school ways I run these sometimes, just to have some fun, just to get some salt poured on me, Pour some salt on me. We like it to get a little, saltified? Salty? There's no better word than salty. Sodium. And then, the last one is just Creature Bond. I run this. It's just funny, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes it's a dead card, but when it does work out, it is spectacular. When you're face to face with a creature with a whole bunch of toughness and you just Creature Bond and murder, Creature Bond, Doomblade, Creature Bond, what have you, to kill it, and then they lose life, get punished for sending out that big tough creature. It's going down, Bobby Brackens. And hey, that's the list. 20 cards that I really love, that I will always love. Hope you had a fun time watching. I had fun making this. We'll see you next time on Ron King Magic, the worst channel on YouTube for Magic the Gathering content, but the best channel on YouTube for Magic the Gathering content that really only has to do with me and my opinions and stuff that I play with and that you probably don't care about, but maybe I'm halfway entertaining. Maybe there's something you find charming about me. I don't know. So, if that's the case, like and subscribe. If that's not the case, like and subscribe. Peace.